A heavy silence enveloped me as I sat in the living room, the wooden floor creaking under my weight, the air thick with the scent of her lingering perfume and the faint hum of the city beyond the walls. My wife, let's call her Elena, had been my partner for years. Her presence once a comfort, now a source of relentless toxicity that gnawed at my soul, the neon glow from the street, diner, pawn, seeping to the curtains, casting shadows on our life together. I had a stable existence, a modest house with its worn furniture, a reliable car parked outside, and a steady income of $10,000 a month, a sum that sustained us without extravagance. The city's distant pulse, traffic, a neighbor's radio, fading as I reflected on what we'd built. Yet Elena saw none of it, her voice sharp as she called me a loser, her green eyes cold with disdain, the wooden table where we ate scarred by her restless fingers, the air heavy with her accusations. "You can't even afford my vacation," she'd sneer, pointing to brochures of $15,000 getaways, her dreams of lavish life clashing with our reality. The city's hum, horns, a child shout, distant as I listened in silence. She dismissed my achievements, the house I'd maintained, the car I'd paid off, the income that kept us comfortable, labeling me a failure, her words a daily poison, the neon cafe bar, a mocking light on my endurance. I didn't argue, my resolve hardening within, the wooden floor foundation for the cold determination growing beneath her tirades. The days blurred, the morning sun streaming to the kitchen window where she'd sip coffee, her dark hair framing a face that once smiled, now twisted with criticism, the city's pulse, sirens, a busker's guitar, faint as she listed my shortcomings. "A real man would give me more," she'd say, her voice cutting to clatter of dishes, the wooden chairs creaking under our tension, the neon, liquor, books, a silent witness to her discontent. I had no desire for the fight she craved, my silent as shield, my mind plotting a way out, the renovations I'd planned for the house a dream deferred, the city's hum, waves, a neighbor's TV, steady as I absorbed her venom. My income, modest but reliable, was enough for us, yet she demanded more, her toxicity a weight I carried alone. I retreated to the bedroom at night, the wooden frame of the bed groaning, the neon tacos club casting a soft glow, the city's pulse, cars, a vendor's call, lulling me into thought. Her suitcase, once packed for trips we planned together, now sat unused, a symbol of her unfulfilled desires, the wooden floor cool under my feet, the air thick with her absence during her rants. I didn't see myself as a loser. My home stood firm, my car ran smooth, my work provided, but her words chipped at my confidence, the neon, rusty anchor diner, a companion to my isolation. Inside, a cold resolve grew, my notebook unopened but my mind writing, her scorn my silence, a plan forming, step by step, into strength. The city's glow framed my determination, the wooden house a prison I'd soon escape, her toxicity the fuel for my quiet rebellion. Thank you for approving chapter 1 of I Am a Loser. I'll write the second chapter, titled The Final Act, targeting exactly 6,000 characters with spaces, including spaces and punctuation, in English, using the first-person perspective and maintaining the reflective, emotionally charged tone of the drama about toxic relationships and personal triumph. I'll follow the structure provided. The protagonist transferring all assets to his mother, Elena unaware and laughing about future vacations without him filing for divorce, and her reacting with fury, threatening to destroy his life and take everything. I'll enhance the text with detailed descriptions, inner thoughts, and home/city atmosphere to meet your preference for more text and the narrative's richness. As you've noted, I'll vary the opening sentence to avoid repetition of prior chapter starts, per your request, and keep the narrative timeless, without specific dates, unless you specify a timeline, avoiding the current date June 23rd, 2025, 10:27 p.m. Eastern European Summertime, to prevent mismatches. The setting will remain vivid, grounding the emotional stakes, and I'll build on a cold resolve from Chapter 1, where he endured Elena's toxicity. I'll continue using Elena as the wife's name unless you specify otherwise. If you want adjustments after review, e.g. asset transfer details, Elena's reaction or emotional nuances, or have issues with text visibility, e.g. Missing chapters from prior stories like Alex and Emily's chapters 3 and 5. Please clarify, and I'll address them promptly. I'll provide Chapter 2 in plain text to ensure it displays correctly. Chapter 2, the final act. I am a loser. Chapter 2, the final act. A steady determination pulsed through me as I sat at the desk, the wooden floor groaning under my chair, the air thick with the scent of old paper and the faint hum of the city beyond the window. Elena's toxicity had pushed me to the edge, her endless calls of loser echoing in my mind, the neon glow from the street, diner, pawn, seeping to the curtains, casting a dim light on my plan. I quietly transferred all my assets, the house with its worn furniture, the car parked outside, my savings, to my mother, her gentle voice on the phone a contrast to Elena's scorn, the city's distant pulse, traffic, a neighbor's radio, fading as I secured my escape. The $10,000 monthly income, once our stability, now safeguarded, the wooden walls of fortress I'd soon abandon. Elena remained oblivious, her laughter ringing through the house as she flipped through vacation brochures, the wooden table scarred by her restless hands. The city's hum, horns, a child shout, distant as she planned getaways costing $15,000. I'll go without you, you can't keep up, she'd taunt, her green eyes glinting with mockery, the neon cafe bar, a cold witness to her delusions, her dark hair framing a face lost in entitlement. I said nothing, my silence a shield, the renovations I'd once dreamed of for the house of memory, the city's pulse, sirens, a busker's guitar, steady as I watched her build a fantasy I'd never fund. My mother's name now graced the deeds, her modest home a haven, the wooden floor creaking under my steps as I prepared the next move. The decision came one evening, the wooden frame of the bed groaning as I lay awake, the neon, liquor, books, casting shadows, the city's hum, waves, a neighbor's TV, lulling me into resolve. I filed for divorce, the papers a quiet rebellion, the city's pulse, cars, a vendor's call, indifferent as I handed them to the lawyer, my heart steady despite the storm ahead. Elena stormed in, her face contorted, the wooden floor shaking with her fury, the neon tacos club, a stark frame to her rage. You dare leave me? She screamed, her voice piercing, the city's hum, laughter, a cyclist bell, fading as she hurled threats. I'll destroy you. Take everything. You're nothing without me, she vowed, her hands trembling, the wooden table a battlefield, her toxicity unleashed. I stood firm, the wooden chair creaking under me, the neon, rusty anchor, diner, blinding to the window, the city's pulse, sirens, a dog barking, resuming as I absorb her words. 5 years of her scorn, her sneers at my $10,000 income, her demand for lavish trips, culminated in this moment. The renovation's a dream I'd let go, the wooden house a prison I'd outgrown. She slammed the door, the echo reverberating, the neon, liquor, books, a witness to her exit, her promise to ruin me a challenge I met with silence, the city's glow framing my determination. My notebook lay unopened, but I knew my words, her rage, my freedom, a life reclaimed, step by step into the end. The house settled, the wooden floor foundation for my next chapter. Her threats a shadow I'd soon face in court. Thank you for your feedback on Chapter 2 of I Am a Loser. I apologize for the character count discrepancy, around 4,600 characters instead of the intended 6,000. I'll ensure Chapter 3, Title to Court, meets the exact 6,000 character requirement with spaces, including spaces and punctuation. I'll write it in English, using the first-person perspective, and maintain the reflective, emotionally charged tone of the drama about toxic relationships and personal triumph. I'll follow the structure provided. Elena appearing in court with an expensive lawyer, the protagonist with a modest local lawyer, her mocking confidence, and the twist where she learns he owns nothing, winning only half the car's value, leaving her owing a fine for her outburst. I'll enhance the text with detailed descriptions, inner thoughts, and courtroom/city atmosphere to meet your preference for more text and the story's richness. I'll vary the opening sentence to avoid repetition of prior chapter starts, per your request, and keep the narrative timeless, without specific dates, unless you specify a timeline, avoiding the current date, June 23rd, 2025, 10:28 p.m. Eastern European Summertime, to prevent mismatches. The setting will remain vivid, grounding the emotional stakes, and I'll build on the divorce filing from Chapter 2, where Elena threatened to take everything. I'll continue using Elena as the wife's name unless you specify otherwise. If you want adjustments after review, e.g. court scene details, Elena's lawyer, or emotional nuances, or have issues with text visibility, e.g. missing chapters from prior stories like Alex and Emily's chapters 3 and 5, please clarify, and I'll address them promptly. I'll provide Chapter 3 in plain text to ensure it displays correctly. Chapter 3. The Court. I am a loser. Chapter 3. The Court. A cold tension gripped me as I entered the courtroom. The wooden benches hard under my weight, the air thick with the scent of polished wood, and the faint hum of anxious voices filling the space. Elena's threats to destroy me and take everything had led us here, her fury from the divorce filing still echoing, the city's distant pulse, traffic, a neighbor's radio, fading as I faced a legal battlefield, the neon glow from the street, diner, pawn, a distant memory outside the towering windows. I'd transferred all assets to my mother in my house, car, and savings now beyond Elena's reach. The wooden floor of our old home a relic, my $10,000 monthly income a shield she couldn't grasp, the courtroom a stage for my quiet vengeance. Elena strode in, her green eyes gleaming with confidence, her dark hair perfectly styled, the city's hum, horns, a child's shout, distant as she flanked herself with an expensive lawyer, his suit impeccable, his briefcase a symbol of her arrogance. She smirked, her presence commanding, the wooden railing separating us a barrier, the neon cafe, bar, a faint echo of the life she'd scorned, her voice cutting through the murmurs. Look at him, hiring some backwater lawyer, she taunted, nodding toward my modest choice, a local man from our small town, his plain tie and worn shoes a contrast to her opulence, the city's pulse, sirens, a busker's attar, fading as she reveled in her perceived victory. I sat silently, my resolve steel, the wooden bench creaking under my calm, the courtroom air heavy with a delusion. The judge called the session, the wooden gavel sharp rapped, silencing the room, the city's hum, waves, a neighbor's TV, distant as the proceedings began, Elena's lawyer outlining her claims with polished eloquence. She leaned back, her smile widening, the neon, liquor, books, a memory of her lavish dreams, her confidence unshaken as she believed my assets, house, car, savings, were hers to claim, the wooden floor of the courtroom a stage for her triumph. My lawyer, unassuming but shrewd, presented my case, the city's pulse, cars, a vendor's call, steady as he revealed the transfer of my mother, the deeds no longer my name, the car's value a mere $5,000, her world crumbling with each word. Elena's face paled, her smirk fading, the wooden railing a witness to her shock. She erupted, her voice rising, the wooden benches shaking with her outburst, the city's hum, laughter, a cyclist's bell, mocked by her hysteria. "You tricked me," she screamed, her hand slamming the table, the neon, tacos club, a distant light as the judge frowned, the courtroom air thick with her rage. The ruling came swiftly. She won half the car's value, $2, $500. But learn I own nothing else. The house and savings untouchable, the city's pulse, sirens, a dog barking, indifferent to her loss. The judge, irritated by her tantrum, imposed a $4,000 fine, leaving her owing more. The wooden gavel's final rap a seal on her defeat. The neon, rusty anchor, diner, a cold frame to her collapse. I rose, the wooden floor steady under me, the neon, liquor, books, blinding to the window, the city's pulse a relentless beat as I felt a strange liberation. 5 years of her scorn, her sneers at my income, her demands for trips, ended here, the renovations I'd planned forgotten dream, the wooden house of memory I'd escaped. Elena glared, her face flushed, the city's glow framing her ruin, her lawyer silent. The courtroom a battlefield where arrogance fell, the wooden benches a witness to my quiet triumph. My notebook remained in my pocket, but I knew my words, her fall, my rise, at justice served, step by step, into freedom. The session closed, the neon light a companion to my exit, the city's watchful hum carried me forward, Her threats a shadow I'd outgrown. A sudden lightness lifted my spirit as I stepped out courtroom, the wooden doors swinging shut behind me, the air crisp with the scent of rain, and the faint hum of the city awakening to my freedom. Elena's defeat, her $2,500 win dwarfed by the $4,000 fine, marked the end of her tyranny. The city's distant pulse, traffic, a neighbor's radio, rising as I felt unshackled for the first time in years, the neon glow from the street, diner, pawn, casting a new light on my path. 5 years of her scorn, her sneers at my $10,000 income, her demands for lavish trips, had ended. The wooden house I'd left behind a memory, my asset safe with my mother, the courtroom a stage where her arrogance crumbled. I couldn't hold it in, the wooden pavement uneven under my steps, the city's hum, horns, a child's shout, fading as a laugh burst from me, raw and uncontrollable, the neon, cafe bar, a witness to my emotional release. It started as a chuckle, then grew into a hysterical outburst, the tension of her toxicity draining away, the city's pulse, sirens, a busker's guitar, distant as tears mixed with my joy, the wooden bench outside the court perched for my liberation. Elena glared, her green eyes burning, her dark hair damp with rain, the neon liquor books. Framing her fury as she spat, "I'll ruin you for this." Her threat hung in the air, the city's hum, waves, a neighbor's TV, steady. But I dismissed it, her power broken, the wooden floor of our old home a relic I'd escaped, the renovations a dream I'd outgrown. 6 months passed, the wooden frame of my new apartment creaking under my weight, the neon, tacos club, casting a soft glow, the city's pulse, cars, a vendor's call, lulling me into a peace I'd never known. I lived alone, the silent a bomb, the $10,000 income now mine to shape, the city's hum, laughter, a cyclist's bell, filling my days with quiet happiness, the wooden table where I ate a symbol of my reclaimed life. Elena's absence was a relief, her threats a fading echo, the neon, rusty anchor diner, a companion to my solitude, the wooden house sold to my mother, the renovation of memory I didn't miss. I sipped coffee, the city's pulse, sirens, a dog barking, distant my heart light, the wooden floor foundation for my new beginning. I reflected at night, the wooden chair groaning, the neon, liquor, books, blinding to the window, the city's pulse a relentless beat as I opened my notebook. Her scorn, her court loss, her vow to ruin me, all faded, the city's glow framing my triumph, the wooden pass a shadow I'd shed. I wrote, her defeat, my joy, a life reborn, step by step into laughter. The rain tapped gently, the neon light pulsing, the city's watchful hum carrying my peace, Elena's rage a distant storm, my solitude a victory I savored. Thank you for pointing out the character count no trace of toxicity on this quiet I am a loser. I apologize for the oversight, around 4,600 characters instead of the intended 6,000. I'll rewrite Chapter 5, title When the Door Knocks, targeting exactly 6,000 characters with spaces, including spaces and punctuation, in English, using the first-person perspective and maintaining the reflective, emotionally charged tone of the drama about toxic relationships and personal triumph. I'll follow the structure provided. A storm with thunder and flooding, a knock at the door revealing a beautiful, tearful girl, her explaining blocked roads and no taxi availability, and the protagonist's kindness in offering her dry clothes, a room, and tea. I'll enhance the text with detailed descriptions, inner thoughts, and home/city atmosphere to meet your preference for more text and the story's richness, ensuring the additional length adds depth without deviating from the structure. I'll vary the opening sentence to avoid repetition of prior chapter starts, per your request, and keep the narrative timeless, without specific dates, unless you specify a timeline, avoiding the current date, June 23rd, 2025, 10:30 p.m. Eastern European Summertime, to prevent mismatches. The setting will remain vivid, grounding the emotional stakes, and I'll build on the peaceful solitude from Chapter 4, where he enjoyed 6 months of freedom. I'll continue using Elena as the ex-wife's name unless you specify otherwise. If you want adjustments after review, e.g. storm details, the girl's arrival, or emotional nuances, or have issues with text visibility, e.g. missing chapters from prior stories like Alex and Emily's chapters 3 and 5, Please clarify, and I'll address them promptly. I'll provide Chapter 5 in plain text to ensure it displays correctly. Chapter 5, When the Door Knocks. I am a loser. Chapter 5, When the Door Knocks. A wild restlessness gripped the night as I sat by the window, the wooden floor icy under my bare feet, the deep rumble of thunder shaking the panes, the city's distant pulse, traffic, a neighbor's radio, swallowed by the torrential rain lashing the glass. 6 months of serene solitude had healed me since Elena's courtroom defeat, her venomous threats a distant whisper, the neon glow from the street, diner pawn. Faintly piercing the storm's veil, my $10,000 monthly income now a quiet anchor, the wooden house of my past sold to my mother, this new apartment a haven carved from her ruin. The floodwaters surge outside, the city's hum, horns, a child's shout, muffled by the deluge, the wooden frame of the window trembling, my solitude pierced by a sudden, insistent knock that echoed through the room, a sound both startling and urgent. I rose, the wooden floor creaking with each step, the air heavy with the earthy scent of rain, and a stranger's desperation, the door swinging open to reveal a stunning girl, her dark hair clinging to a tear-streaked face, her wide blue eyes glistening with fear under the storm's fury. The city's pulse, sirens, a busker's guitar, faded into the downpour as she stood there, drenched to the skin, her slender frame shivering, the neon cafe bar, a dim flicker behind her, the wind whipping her coat as she clutched a sodden bag. "The roads are blocked," she stammered, her voice trembling with exhaustion. "Trees have fallen everywhere, and I can't get a taxi. The storm's too fierce, and the lines are down." The city's hum, waves, a neighbor's TV, lost in chaos, her plight stirring memories of my own struggles with Elena, the wooden threshold of boundary between her peril and my refuge, my heart softening despite the shadows of betrayal. I couldn't abandon her to the tempest, the wooden door closing with a soft thud, the neon liquor books, casting a warm, golden hue as I handed her a thick towel, her cold fingers brushing mine, gratitude flickering in her eyes. "Come inside," I said, my voice steady, the wooden chair creaking as I rummaged for dry clothes, a worn T-shirt and loose shorts, her beauty a stark contrast to the night's violence. The renovations I'd once planned for the old house a distant echo, the city's pulse, cars, a vendor's call, silenced by the rain. She slipped into the bathroom, the wooden walls amplifying the storm's roar, the neon tacos club, a faint guide to the darkness, her soft thanks a melody against Elena's harsh refrains, the $10,000 income a resource I now extended, the wooden floor foundation for this act of kindness, the air warming with the scent of wet fabric drying. I led her to the spare room, the wooden bed adorned with simple quilt, the neon, rusty anchor, diner, seeping through the curtains, the city's pulse, sirens, a dog barking. Faint as I prepared tea, the kettles whistle a gentle note in the storm symphony. "You can stay until it passes," I offered, her blue eyes softening with relief, the wooden table where we sat a quiet bridge, the storm's thunder a rhythmic backdrop to her murmured gratitude, the neon, liquor, books, a companion to my gesture. The city's glow framed her fragile smile, the rain easing slightly, the wooden house of my past a memory of toxicity, the $10,000 a tool for this moment of humanity, the city's hum, traffic, a neighbor's radio, returning as the night calmed, my solitude enriched by her presence, a new possibility hinted in the storm's retreat, the wooden walls holding a warmth Elena never knew. A gentle calm washed over the room as dawn broke, the wooden floor warm under my feet, the soft patter of fading rain tapping the window, the city's distant pulse, traffic, a neighbor's radio, slowly returning after the storm's fury. The girl from the night before had brought a quiet kindness, her blue eyes bright with gratitude as she sipped tea, the neon glow from the street, diner pawn, faintly visible through the curtains, my $10,000 monthly income a resource that allowed this act of hospitality, the wooden house of my past with Elena a distant shadow. 6 months of peace had softened me, her toxicity replaced by the stranger's warmth, the city's hum, horns, a child's shout, distant as she smiled, her dark hair dry into soft waves, the wooden table a bridge between our worlds, free of malice. She was gentle, her voice a soft melody against the storm's memory, the wooden chair creaking as she thanked me, the neon, cafe, bar, a gentle guide to morning light. The city's pulse, sirens, a busker's attar. Fading as she adjusted the borrowed T-shirt. Her beauty a contrast to Elena's scorn. "You saved me last night," she said, her blue eyes warm. The wooden floor steady under her steps. The renovations I'd once planned forgotten dream. The $10,000 income a quiet strength. The city's hum, waves, a neighbor's TV. Calm as she expressed her gratitude. I nodded. The wooden bed in her room a sanctuary. The neon, liquor, books. Casting a soft hue, my solitude enriched by her presence. The storm's retreat a symbol of my healing. The wooden walls holding no trace of Elena's rage on this peaceful morning. An urgent call shattered tranquility. The wooden phone rattling on the table. The city's pulse. Cars. A vendor's call. Rising as my boss demanded I fix storm damage at work. The neon. Tacos club. A faint call to duty. I had to leave. The wooden floor creaking under my haste. The $10,000 income tied to this responsibility. The girl still asleep. Her soft breathing a contrast to Elena's tirades. I scribbled a note. Call a taxi when you're ready, lock the door, and place the key in the stone by the steps. The wooden desk a witness, the city's hum, laughter, a cyclist's bell. Steady as I slipped out, the neon rusty anchor diner, guiding my exit. The wooden porch slick with lingering rain, my heart light despite the rush. I returned after dusk, the wooden door heavy my hand, the neon, liquor, books, casting a harsh light as I stepped into chaos. The apartment trashed, the wooden couch slashed, my clothes torn, the air thick with the scent of destruction. A note fluttered on the table. Get what you deserve. Your queen, Elena's handwriting unmistakable. The city's pulse, sirens, a dog barking. Rising as shock gripped me. The $10,000 income now a target. The wooden house of my past a memory of her venom. 5 years of her abuse culminated here. The renovations a dream she'd never let rest. The wooden floor a battlefield. The neon glow framing her revenge. My solitude shattered by this betrayal. The city's hum. Traffic. A neighbor's radio. Mocking my naivety on this fateful evening. A chilling numbness seized my chest as I stood amidst the wreckage. The wooden floor splintered under my feet. The air heavy with the scent of torn fabric and the bitter sting of betrayal lingering from Elena's note. The trashed apartment. My slashed couch. My shredded clothes. Told a story of vengeance. The city's distant pulse. Traffic. A neighbor's radio. Fading as I clutched the paper reading, Get what you deserve. Your queen. The neon glow from the street. Diner. Pawn. Casting a harsh light through the window. My $10,000 monthly income now a target of respite. The wooden house of my past a memory, tainted by her rage. Shock rooted me. The city's hum. Horns, a child shout. Distant as I dialed the police, my hands trembling, the wooden table a silent witness to this new wound. The officers arrived, their boots thudding on the wooden floor, the neon cafe bar. A faint guide as I handed over the note. The city's pulse, sirens, a busker's attar. Rise with their investigation. The $10,000 income a symbol of stability she'd sought to destroy. They reviewed security footage, the wooden walls echoing with their murmurs. The neon, liquor, books, illuminating the grainy images of the girl from the storm. Her face familiar yet twisted by guilt. The city's hum, waves, a neighbor's TV, steady as they traced her steps. She confessed under questioning, her blue eyes downcast, the wooden chair where she'd sat now a symbol of her betrayal. Admitting Elena had paid her $5,000 to wreak havoc. The city's pulse. Cars, a vendor's call. Indifferent to plot. The renovations I'd once planned a dream she'd help shatter, the neon, tacos club, a cold witness to her words. I filed a lawsuit, the wooden desk creaking under the legal papers, the neon, rusty anchor, diner, casting shadows as I sought justice, the city's hum, laughter, a cyclist's bell, fading into my resolve, the $10,000 income a resource to fight back. The betrayal stung deeper than Elena's courtroom loss. 5 years of her scorn, her sneers, her demands, culminating in this act, the wooden floor a battlefield of trust broken, the city's pulse, sirens, a dog barking, rising as I prepared my case. The girl's admission weighed on me, her kindness a mask, the wooden bed where she'd slept a reminder of my naivety, the neon, liquor, books, a companion to my anger, the wooden house of my past a ghost, the city's glow framing my determination to reclaim my peace. The emotional toll settled, the wooden chair groaning under me, the neon light pulsing, the city's pulse a relentless beat as I reflected on Elena's spite, the $10,000 income a fortress she couldn't breach. My notebook lay open, the words forming. Her plot, my fight, a justice sought, step by step, into retribution. The night deepened, the neon, diner, pawn, a silent witness, the city's hum, traffic, a neighbor's radio. Carry my resolve, the wooden walls holding the echo of her betrayal. The girl's confession a key to my next move, the storm's memory a backdrop to this quiet fury on a night of reckoning. A solemn weight settled in my bones as I entered the courtroom, the wooden benches worn under my steps, the air thick with the scent of polished oak and the tense murmur of gathered voices, the city's distant pulse, traffic, a neighbor's radio, fading beyond high windows. The lawsuit against Elena and the girl had brought us back, her vengeance of the divorce fueling the second confrontation. The neon glow from the street, diner, pawn, a faint memory outside, my $10,000 monthly income estate she tried to ruin, the wooden house of my past a ghost, the trashed apartment a wound now healed by justice. The girl sat with downcast eyes, Elena's green gaze defiant, the city's hum. Horns a child shout, distant as a judge prepared to rule, the wooden railing a barrier between us. The courtroom a stage for retribution. The verdict came, the wooden gavel sharp rap silencing the room, the city's pulse, sirens, a busker's attar, fading as the judge declared both guilty, the neon, cafe, bar, a cold witness to their fall. Elena's plot, paid with $5,000 to the girl, had trashed my home, the wooden floor of my apartment a memory of chaos, the $30,000 compensation order for property damage and emotional distress a quiet victory, the city's hum, waves, a neighbor's TV, steady as the ruling sank in. Elena's face paled, her dark hair framing a massive shock, the wooden bench creaking under her shift, the neon, liquor, books, casting shadows on her defeat, the girl's confession a nail in their coffin, the renovations I'd once planned a dream they couldn't touch, the city's pulse, cars, a vendor's call, indifferent to her loss. I rose, the wooden floor firm under me, the neon, tacos club, a distant light as I felt a deep, silent triumph, the $10,000 income a fortress she couldn't breach, the city's laughter, a cyclist bell, rising with my resolve. 5 years of her scorn, her sneers, her demands, ended here, the wooden house sold, the trashed apartment restored, the neon, rusty anchor diner, framing my strength. The judge allowed my statement, the wooden gavel poised, the city's pulse, sirens, a dog barking. Fading as I spoke, my voice steady. Some people get everything they want, then they get everything they deserve. The words hung in the air, the neon, liquor, books, a companion to my declaration, Elena's glare a powerless fury, the girl's silence a confession, the wooden walls echoing my justice. The session closed, the wooden door swinging shut, the neon glow pulsing, the city's pulse a relentless beat as I stepped outside, the air crisp with relief, the $30,000 a balm to my wounds. Elena's threats, her courtroom loss, her revenge, all crumbled, the city's hum, traffic, a neighbor's radio. Carrying my peace, the wooden past a shadow I'd shed. My notebook remained in my pocket, but I knew my words, her ruin, my voice, a battle won, step by step, into redemption. The night deepened, the neon, diner, pawn, a witness to my exit, the city's watchful light sealing my triumph, the wooden courtroom a memory of her downfall, my heart steady with a quiet, earned victory on this decisive evening. A quiet hope flickered within me as I unpacked boxes, the wooden floor of my new apartment smooth under my feet, the air fresh with the scent of paint and the gentle hum of an unfamiliar city beyond the window. The house, once a battleground with Elena, had been sold, the $30,000 compensation from the quarter cushion, the neon glow from the street, cafe, diner, casting a warm light on this fresh start, my $10,000 monthly income now a tool for rebuilding, the wooden walls of the past replaced by this cozy refuge. The city's pulse, traffic, a vendor's call, rose with promise, the trashed apartment repaired, the wooden furniture of my old life of memory, the renovations I'd once planned abandoned, this new address a symbol of freedom earned through struggle. I moved to a different city, the wooden porch of my old home a fading image, the neon bar pawn, a distant echo as I settled into a snug space with soft curtains and a view of bustling streets, the city's hum, horns, a child's laughter, filling the mornings. The $10,000 income sustained me, the wooden table where I ate a quiet companion. The court's victory over Elena's revenge a weight lifted, the city's pulse, sirens, a busker's tune, steady as I began a new cycle, free of her scorn, her demands for lavish trips, the wooden house sold to my mother. The girl's betrayal lingered, her $5,000 confession a sting, the neon, liquor, books, a guide to this rebirth, the wooden floor creaking with each step, my heart light with a life unburdened by the past. Days passed, the wooden chair groaning under me as I sipped coffee, the neon, tacos club, casting shadows, the city's pulse, waves, a neighbor's radio, lulling me into peace, the $30,000 a buffer against Elena's chaos. I read the news one evening, the wooden desk a witness, the neon, rusty anchor, diner, framing the headline. Elena, deep in debt from fines and legal fees, her lavish dreams shattered, the city's hum, cars, a cyclist's bell, mocking her fall. 5 years of her toxicity, her sneers, her courtroom losses, culminated in this. The wooden house of memory I'd shed, the $10,000 income a fortress she couldn't touch, the neon, liquor, books, a companion to my satisfaction, the city's pulse, sirens, a dog barking, carrying her ruin. I stood on the balcony, the wooden railing weathered but sturdy, the neon glow pulsing, the city's pulse a relentless beat as I reflected on the journey. The $30,000 a testament to justice, the wooden pass a shadow I'd outgrown. My notebook opened, the words forming. Her debt, my peace, a life renewed, step by step, into a new home. The night deepened, the neon, cafe, diner, a witness to my solitude, the city's watchful hum sealing my escape. The wooden walls holding no trace of her, Elena's fate a distant echo, my new address a haven on this quiet evening. A soft serenity enveloped my senses as I stood by the window, the wooden floor warm under my slippers, the gentle patter rain tapping a new rhythm against the glass, the city's distant pulse, traffic, a vendor's call, humming with a peaceful cadence. The new apartment, a sanctuary carved from Elena's ruin, held no trace of her scorn, the $30,000 compensation a shield, the neon glow from the street. Cafe diner, casting a gentle light, my $10,000 monthly income a steady companion, the wooden house of my past sold, the trashed apartment restored. The rain fell differently now, the city's hum, horns, a child's laughter, softened by time, the wooden railing of my balcony a perch for reflection. 5 years of her toxicity wash away. The renovation's a dream I let go, the neon bar pawn, a quiet guide to this calm. I poured coffee, the wooden table creaking on a mug, the neon, liquor, books, seeping to curtains, the city's pulse, sirens, a busker's tune. Fading as I watched the street below, the $10,000 income a resource of the solitude, Elena's debt a distant echo from the news. The rain glistened on the pavement, the wooden chair groaning as I sat, the neon tacos club, casting shadows, the city's hum. Waves, a neighbor's radio, lulling me into peace, her courtroom defeat and revenge plot of memory. The girl's betrayal lesson learned, the wooden floor foundation for my renewal. The $30,000 sat in my account, a testament to justice, the wooden pass a shadow I'd outgrown, the city's pulse, cars, a cyclist's bell, carrying a new rhythm, the neon, rusty anchor, diner, a companion to my quiet strength. A knock sounded at the door, the wooden frame trembling slightly, the neon, liquor, books, pulsing as I set down my mug, the city's pulse, sirens, a dog barking, pausing in my mind, a slight smile tugging at my lips. The rain continued, the wooden floor creaking under my steps, the $10,000 income a quiet assurance, the trashed apartment a healed wound, Elena's rage a fading storm, the neon, cafe diner, framing this moment. I opened the door, the air fresh with rain, the city's hum, traffic, a neighbor's radio. Resuming, the visitor a silhouette against the glow, the wooden threshold a boundary to a new unknown, my heart steady with hope, the wooden walls holding no fear of destruction. I stepped forward, the wooden porch slick but firm, the neon light guiding. The city's pulse a gentle beat as I face the unknown, the $30,000 a buffer, the wooden house of my passive memory I'd shed. My notebook remained closed, but I knew my words, her silence, my dawn, a life reclaimed, step by step, into peace. The rain softened, the neon, bar, pawn, a witness to my smile, the city's watchful hum sealing this chapter. The knock a promise, not a threat. This time, not for destruction, I thought, the wooden door closing behind me, the night holding a warm, open-ended future on this tranquil evening.